This is a clip dealing with an apology going out, of course, years ago. People are all dead now, but involving those who were persecuted as witches back in the 1700s. But I want you to pay attention to a picture they show you. It's a drawing, but I want you to pay close attention.
Executed under the Witchcraft Act 1563.
That's right, she apologized to witches, and it was...
See that picture? To witches. Hopefully you can enlarge it somehow. Hopefully you can enlarge it and really see what it is. This is a man. This is a man dressed. Of course, he has long hair, but when you see this and you see what he's wearing, he's dressed as a woman, and he has a mustache. He clearly has a mustache here. And it's going Salem Witch Trial Archive Project. The Salem Witch Trial was really about something else. The word Salem is Salam, and the word witch is Owashita or Wichita. That has to do with another type of history. Has nothing to do with this. People were persecuted, but this is not really what the Salam Owashita trials were about. Totally different. That'd be another video. But I'm just showing you how they're showing you that witches were men. Men. This is a man. Witches supposedly witches were men that were disguised as women, and warlocks were the other way around. It was a woman disguised as a man. Dealing with the transgender element in witchcraft. And this is the malevolent form, to where they reverse the meanings. They corrupt the original, they corrupt the true meanings of things to use negative frequencies to get what they want. This is a man. Clearly a man. Listen.
Out of the blue. This was 2 years in the making, led by the Witches of Scotland campaign.
And we're no longer happy with recording only one side of history, the side that historically men as scholars.
Now, if you take a look at the, you probably can't see it, it may be too dark for you, but there's a picture hanging along the back. And the faces of a man, the jaw, the high cheekbones, the forehead. This is all a man, but then it has breasts on it, on the image here, hanging to her right over her shoulder.
Had recorded.
A quick history recap. From the 16th to the 18th century, both the church and the government believed the devil was hiding among common people, trying to make bad things happen, from people getting sick to crops dying. If someone was suspected of being responsible for unexplainable events, they were accused of being a witch.
Now remember, this is some of this is revisionist history, but what I did wanted to show you was I wanted to show you the picture of that the man that they had listed as a witch. Clearly, it was a man with a lot of hair. So let's take a look at a few things here. We're going to go pretty quick. This is a modern day image of Dorothy Counts. We're going to get into Dorothy Counts. Dorothy Counts was back in the 1950s, I believe. The immigration. Look up Dorothy Counts Scroggins. She was one of the first black persons to immigrate into a white school in, I believe, North Carolina. This is a picture. She's standing next to the picture of her, or he is standing next to the picture of himself, dressed as a girl, during the integration time. And you all were wondering why everyone was so upset. And why they were, they were calling her racial slurs. So that's Dorothy. That's Dorothy Counts. Let me see if I can get some more images of. We're going to get back to Dorothy Counts. I'm going to show you some better images, but we're going to go through a lot of pictures here. So, women are powerful and dangerous, but here I see a lot of male energy. Why is there so much masculine energy in all the feminists? Why do they have such masculine energy? Just about all the images we see of so-called feminists, they have that masculine energy. Just wanted to show you a very beautiful picture. We need to kind of get back to this. This is so beautiful, right? We hardly ever see this in films today, do we? Especially in major films, we don't see this too much of this. It's usually a white one or a black one or a black one or a white one or something else. It's always white and black. Kind of never show us together. That beautiful, true feminine energy and the masculine energy. Enjoying some drinks in the pool, and they're both very, very happy together. We hardly ever see that these days. Something I pointed out in some of the other early clips. This is going back to Dorothy Counts Scroggins. Pull up Dorothy Count Scroggins. They told you that this had to do with a racial event, and it didn't have anything to do. This probably had very little to do with the fact that she was melanated. I think it had to do with the fact that this is a boy. And it's an obvious boy. Look at the neck. Look at the shoulders. And you see them in the back teasing him. And you can see that he had his hair curled or straightened or whatever the case may be. This has been going on for quite a while. This is what I'm showing you this. Not making fun of anyone, but this is Dorothy Count Scroggins. Look at the arms. Look at the arms. I've seen this picture 1,000 times, and it wasn't until about 3-4 years ago when I started learning the difference between human anatomy that I saw what the problem was. Look at the neck. You can see the Adam's apple, the trachea. Look at all this. Okay? And they told you, they played off your emotions by saying it was a racial event. This one was probably not. There was probably some other ones, but this one, no, we know what they're making fun of now. That's obvious what they're making fun of. Let's keep going. I'll show you some more of, this is another one of Dorothy Count Scroggins. Getting back to the feminist energy, the witchcraft, that plagues our community, and they use it as a lot of race. They just say it's because she was this and this, and this probably had to do with the fact that this is a boy. Look at the boys. Look at their expressions. He's looking like he don't know what it is, and you see the other ones in the back calling names or whatever the case may be. This is how they play on our emotions. This probably had nothing to do with race. They've been doing it for quite a while. They still do it today. And this is why the LGBTQ community is so connected to the hip of a lot of the civil rights leaders and movements. Here's Shirley Chisholm, champion of black feminist power in politics. Why do they all have such masculine energy? Masculine energy, masculine energy, masculine energy. The Chisholm Legacy Project. We'll tell you a little bit more about Shirley Chisholm here in just a minute. We're going to go through these images here. Here's another drawing of Dorothy Counts. Look how they drew it. Long neck. Look at the jaw and the chin, small mouth. This from here down looks like Michelle Obama. Abstract image done of Dorothy Counts. Abstract image. And there's a reason they do that as well. Here's another one I wanted to show you. Look at this. It says a fearless, indomitable womanhood, a fearless, indomitable race. Race. William Rooney. This goes back to the origins of the feminist movement, way back, I believe, in the 1930s. Might be before that. These are all men. This is a man. Look where the arm comes down to. That's a man. That's a man. This is a man. That's a man. That's a man. This one, well, I'm not sure of. This was obvious a man right here. This is a homely looking man. This is a man. That's obviously a man. This one's a man. This is a boy. This one's a funny looking short man. This one I don't know. This one I don't know. This one I don't know. That one I don't know. But the majority of these are men. Sisters, where you at in this picture? Back in the 30s and whatever. 20s and 30s, because y'all was rolling in. Y'all didn't need this stuff. You had money, you had wealth, you had strong families. A fearless, indomitable race. Where y'all at? So who are they talking about? And all these men standing at 45-degree angles, by the way, so I'm pretty sure some of them are Masons or Freemasons. Let's continue on with some of the images for you here. We'll go one by one, make it easier instead of putting a bunch of them up. Mr. President, how long must women wait for liberty? These are, hold on. This is a man. Jaw. Can't tell what that is. This is obviously a man. 45-degree angle. I can't tell. I can't tell here. Can't tell there. Can't tell there. Can't tell there. But that's a man. That's a man. Right? These men disguised as women, if you want to call them drag queens or whatever, they've always been there. This is your boy. This is your boy Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. I don't know how you guys think that this is a woman. Chain around the neck. And if you've ever seen the body, has a body like a 15-year-old goddamn boy. They've been putting this in your faces for years. It's nothing new. Here's Shirley Chisholm. They got us way back then. I believe this was during the 60s, 50s, 60s. Shirley Chisholm. Yep, a lot of masculine energy coming from that, isn't it? Here we go. Here's Shirley Chisholm with none other than your other boy girl, Gloria Steinem. Look at this wig, man. Just look at the profile. If that don't look like J.J. Evans with a wig on and glasses, I don't know what. I don't know what does, man. And people knew when they weren't saying anything. Here's your girl, Kamala, black queen with her white family. White Jewish husband, 2 adopted Jewish children. Kamala. The one that people still think we should have voted for over Trump. For those of you that voted. That is, once again, Shirley Chisholm. If this doesn't look like a comedy skit off of Saturday Night Live, man, look at the hands. The hands of that giveaway. Shirley Chisholm. One of our civil rights leaders. Here it is. Here she is again. Him, her. Shirley Chisholm was the first black woman to be elected to Congress in 19... Let's get into this one. Doechii. Everyone's familiar with the video that she did, came out and was basically stating that heterosexual men are a red flag. And I don't know why any natural born female would have a problem with heterosexual men, because there's different types of heterosexual men. There's heterosexual men that are feminine. They have feminine qualities, you know. They don't act as masculine as other men, and you have men that are very masculine. Remember the whole thing with the metrosexual males who would get their eyebrows pierced and manicures and, you know, carry man bags and wear man buns, but they were still heterosexual males. They weren't homosexuals. So there's different types of heterosexual males, so I'm not sure why a natural-born woman would come out and say that. I'm not really sure what Doechii really is, even though I've seen Doechii walking around almost half naked. I mean, I still see a lot of masculine anatomy. Shoulders, of course, the mandible here. It's called a mandible, and they have that square jaw like that. Some women do, but it's more pronounced in others than it is in some. And then the whole drag queen look here. So I'm not quite sure what Doechii is anyway. So let's take a look at some, even though, now breasts don't mean anything these days. Anybody can get the breasts, grow breasts. That's nothing. But I'm just not sure what Doechii really is here. I don't know none of my partners would step to this at all. I don't think any of the brothers I know would be interested in anything that looked like this. So let's take a look at a couple of more images, and we're gonna kind of get into a few other things here on Doechii. So once again, the whole drag look is what's in fashion these days. It's been in fashion for like the past 10 years, man. The whole drag queen look, remove the hair, that goes back to the 20s, but the overwhelming amount of makeup around the eyes and the fake eyelashes and just the oversaturation of makeup and fake hair. It's basically the drag queen look. It's not the one I wanted. So let me go to this image here. Bring this image up. As we get into the whole drag queen thing and also the involvement of witchcraft, including feminists. We always talked about the feminist movement with Gloria Steiner. Gloria Steiner being transgender. If you know anything about anatomy, you can kind of look those things up. I even heard some things about Nikki Giovanni as well, that Nikki Giovanni was the binary before binary existed. So the whole feminist movement has always been entrapped and entangled and saturated with transgenders, because transgenders think they can be better women than women. And it's kind of strange why women accept them so much when they think they can be better women than women. And of course, once again, she mentioned that she has problems with heterosexual males. So let's take a look at that comment about her having problems with heterosexual males, in case you have not seen that one. We'll pull that up for you in the video here. Where'd it go? Here we go. Pull this up for you real quick. See if we can get that to pop up. Take a look what Doechii has to say about heterosexual men. See if
My biggest dating red flag. Is it being on the DL? You're on the right track. I have my answer. Is it close enough? You want to guess one more time? What would be a red flag for me? Bad music taste? Oh, that is a good one. Because that's one for me. That is a good one. Like, that's not what I put. You don't listen to Michael Jackson. But okay. Okay. This is a huge red flag for me. All right. You know what's so crazy? I was going to say men.
Men.
I mean, strike one. You're a man. Yeah.
Strike one, you're a man. What? So, heterosexual men or men? She did say a straight man on the board, but then she just said strike one, you're a man. So, which one is it? Just in case you all didn't hear that. Now, we know she's talking about heterosexual black males, but it's kind of funny because this one, as well as Terry McMillan, I believe she was dating a man, and it turned out to be a homosexual male. So he wasn't straight. He was a homosexual male, and it was the same situation with Terry McMillan, who was dating. I don't know how Terry McMillan didn't know that the man she was dating was gay, because he looked gayer than all Paris. So I don't know how Terry couldn't figure it out. But once again, he or she was dating a homosexual man. Didn't know it. Supposedly came out and surprised her. Now let's take a look at a few other things on Doechii here, performance here. Let's take a look at a few things about Doechii, because I'm not sure what Doechii really is here. So we're gonna go back here. Let me go back and show you something. Get this ready for you. Try not to get a YouTube strike here. So now, once again, I've seen a lot of stiff movements. I mean, I've been I don't know how many strip clubs in my life. I had a few friends that ran some years ago. Watched a lot of women dance, man, and those movements were just very, very stiff. It's almost like a brother just came out of the gym and is trying to move like a woman. But let's listen to some lyrics here. The other thing I noticed is a couple things, man. You know, they're doing some real good things with surgeries these years. Don't get confused. If any of y'all been to Brazil, and y'all know what's happening down in Brazil, you gotta make them strip before you do anything down in Brazil. So they can do some magnificent things with surgery. And sometimes I think that some of these shows are actually advertising doctors' work. I think they're advertising their work to other people in the industry and around the world. First of all, look at the length of the fingers. This is not no video editing. I just froze the video. Say no CG. Look at the length. Goddamn. If you want to say that's part of the fingernail, we'd cut it off right here. But look at the length of the goddamn fingers. Easily palm of basketball. That's for sure. The other thing is what's called an Adonis belt. This is all male. It's called an Adonis belt. There's also some surgeries where they remove one of the ribs. That's very common too, to give them more of a narrow looking waistline. But this is an Adonis belt. That's what this is. This is also possibly covering up a jock that she could be tucking. Who knows? Or she could actually have the surgery. But I showed you a few images of just the drag queen look. But let's listen to some more lyrics here. Listen to this.
Turns out the girl was really a dude. Okay, Doechii.
Turns out the girl was really a dude. Turns out the girl was really a dude. Want to hear it again?
Girl was really a dude. Okay, Doechii.
Turns out the girl was really a dude. One more time, in case y'all ain't familiar with Doechii.
Turns out the girl was really a dude. Okay, Doechii.
Turns out the girl was really a dude. So my question concerning this one, my question concerning Miss Doechii, that was bragging about not dating straight men. Straight men are an issue. Are we looking at a man? Are we looking at a homosexual man? Another one? Megan Thee Stallion, Coi Leroy, Sexy Red, Cardi B, on and on and on. Glorilla, on and on and on. All your famous top female artists, specifically in the rap industry. Such a major influence over young women, specifically young black women. So we're going to get into witchcraft and how that's kind of tied into the transgender thing and how it's tied into the feminist movement. We still dealing with Kamala Harris in the elections also. It's all tied in. This is a video clip. It's titled "The Secret Feminist History of Witches as Told by a Practicing Witch," and you can find that on the YouTube channel of New York Magazine YouTube channel. Check it out.
Pitched in early 60s coincides right when
60s.
Friedan's putting out The Feminine Mystique. So Bewitched is kind of, talking about the plight of the white middle-class housewife, just like Betty Friedan's book. And the women's liberation movement is sort of, bubbling under the surface in culture at the time. And Bewitched is also, I think a few episodes were written by self-professed feminist Barbara Abaddon. So there's some real early feminist leanings in there. And the way she uses magic is like the way early feminist thought could be
Get back at the
perceived. Samantha's husband Darren's really annoyed and always frustrated she's using this magical power. It's like something he can't access, he can't control, and it gives her agency. And even though, it's kind of like a fluffy, funny show, there are some little radical currents in there that I think are picked up and expressed more explicitly in later films in the 70s, 80s, 90s, etc.
Notice she said feminist movement. Feminism. Once again, that's called The Secret Feminist History of Witches. It's not the other way around. It's not the witches let the feminists see. It's basically was. We're going to pull up some images here in a minute to kind of show you guys some other things, probably on the next clip. But I want to pull up another one here, if I can get it loaded here for you on. Let me see here. This one is called "The Cult Secrets of Witchcraft: The Rise of Feminism." So let me skip here and get to the mark. If I can get it down here for you.
There was a lot of efforts to kind of bend and twist Christianity into something that it was unrecognizable to the previous centuries of Christianity, and also to kind of move Christians toward the occult. For example, you have the St. Simonians, and then also here in the United States, you had Elizabeth Cady Stanton and 24 other feminists rewrite the first 5 books of the Bible. It was called the Woman's Bible, and it was one of the most popular books of its day. Now, it's not a Bible at all, so the name is a bit misleading. And what Stanton said, her whole aim with rewriting the first 5 books of the Old Testament from this feminist perspective, she said, we would love to do away with Christianity and the Bible altogether if we could. She's often labeled as a Christian, but she said in the preface to her own book that she never believed that any man saw or spoke to God. She didn't
Any
believe
man.
that God gave us the Mosaic Law. She basically didn't believe Christianity at all. People might be surprised to learn. We think that like the gender swapping or gender abolition ideas are new. A lot of people think that's from the last decade or two, but these are actually very old ideas that do go back to this period. You could arguably even say they go back to ancient times, but certainly during the revolutionary period in France, you had people like Simon Guinot and Mary Wollstonecraft and other gender bending figures who wanted gender abolition. You know, we're talking the late 1700s. And this was always a part of feminism.
Transgenderism, switching genders has always been a part of feminism, which is also a part of witchcraft. I'm about to show that to you next. It's always been there. And when I point out today, you know, like I mentioned in some earlier clips about Glorilla, Megan Thee Stallion, those are obvious men. Cardi B, those are obvious boys. Coi Leroy is a boy. It's an obvious boy. Sexy Red, it's obviously a boy. Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla performed at the Democratic Convention in Chicago. And that was a platform of the Democrats, is the LGBT community. That's their base. Transgender too. Feminism too.
Always had elements of it that wanted gender abolition, and basically just to erase any sort of boundaries or differences among people. One of the people I wanted to mention today too is not just Mary Wollstonecraft, but Victoria Woodhull, who was an American women's lib person from the 19th century, and she gave a famous speech where she made appeals to religious liberty in the American Constitution, which was, you know, born out of this revolutionary period as well. Various forms of witchcraft are the fastest growing religions in both England and America now. Things like Wicca, green witchcraft that's very like environmentally activist, or it kind of all ties in, right? The socialism, the Marxism,
tied into the
veganism, the feminism. Yeah, it's all kind of a rebellion against anything male, anything patriarchal, anything like God the Father,
anything male.
Men, masculine principle. They do see, because you guys probably know this Marxist oppressor-oppressed narrative, they see the history of men and women as being in opposition to one another. That's why.
Now, it's very important, very pivotal that she just said that. Because when you start to see some of the images I'm going to show you, that there was a lot of men dressed as women, dragged, or transgenders, or homosexuals, or whatever, that were participating in the foundation of the feminist movement. So it's almost like you have another element that a lot of women today accept, which is a lot of women don't have a problem with the LGBT community. They accept it fully, specifically in the so-called black communities. It's welcomed. I don't have a problem with that. But it would appear to be that the people that they're welcoming are the ones who don't like women. They don't like women.
Go to Witch Talk, right? You go to Witch Talk, you're going to see lots of women who are really into Lilith worship, or it's kind of like a pick your own goddess buffet. Like Inanna is my favorite, and I'm going to worship the divine feminine. So it's just very appealing if you have this feminist political ideology that's opposed to hierarchy, right?
Very appealing if you have this ideology that's opposed. Next clips, I'm going to try and find one more video for you, then we're